One evening, Olivia was walking home from work. While passing by the local police station, she noticed a commotion. Apparently, a prisoner had escaped recently. The police had a list of 3 suspects who could have helped with the escape. One was a delivery man holding a box. Another was a lawyer with a briefcase. And the 3rd suspect was an old woman with a cane. Olivia figured out right away who had helped the prisoner escape. Who was it? It was the delivery man who helped the prisoner escape. Look, there are handcuffs inside the box he's carrying. Olivia kept walking. Soon, she was next to a bookstore. At this time of day, it was supposed to be already closed, but the girl realized that the back door was slightly open. Then she saw 3 people running away and down different streets. They were a teenager with a backpack, a woman in high heels holding a coffee, and a jogger wearing earbuds. One of them broke into the bookstore just a few minutes ago. Who was it? It was the teenager. See that plastic bag with printed book titles? She must have grabbed it inside before running away. The day was getting more and more tiring, and Olivia decided to take a shortcut through a dimly lit park. As she was walking along the main path, she noticed something strange. In a small square, there were several statues. But something made her stop. She realized that one of the statues was alive. Can you help her figure out which statue is actually a human in disguise? It's this warrior. A trickle of sweat gives away his identity. He is just posing as a statue. It was quite dark in the park, so Olivia accidentally tripped over and lost consciousness. When she came around, she was in a room. On the table in the middle, there was a mixture of salt and pepper, and a note. Apparently, to escape, Olivia had to separate the salt and pepper. Look at what Olivia has at hand and try to understand how she can do it. Olivia has a plastic comb in her bag. She could run it through her hair several times and bring the comb to the pepper mixed with the salt. All the peppercorns will separate from the salt and stick to the electrified comb. Unfortunately, the note tricked Olivia. She found herself in a different room. To get out of that one, she had to get a coin out of a plate filled with water covering the coin completely. But she wasn't allowed to soak her fingers. Olivia did it without any problem. How? She took a glass and placed a burning match inside. After a few seconds, she lowered the glass onto the plate next to the coin. The water gathered under the glass, and she easily picked the coin up. Luckily, this time, Olivia managed to break free for real. But the evening was going to end peacefully. She saw that someone had robbed a jewelry store. A detective had already arrived and was interviewing 3 employees: John, Sarah, and Mike. John claimed he had been in the storeroom. Sarah said that one customer had been having problems with his credit card, and she had been trying to help him. And Mike insisted he had been in the office. Olivia knew who was lying. Have you figured it out? Sarah is lying. Have you noticed that note on the window? Cash only? The store doesn't accept credit cards, so Sarah must be the thief. Olivia remembered that she'd run out of milk and decided to drop by a grocery store. After grabbing the stuff she needed, she came up to the cashier to pay. The employee told her $5.05. Olivia paid, went outside, and called the police to report an emergency. Why? The cash register showed $10.60, but the cashier said $5.05, which looks like SOS. Olivia was very close to her home when she heard someone screaming. She rushed over there and saw a young woman crying. She was talking to a friend on the phone when someone grabbed the device and pushed her to the ground. When she got up, there was no one around, but she saw the door of a nearby cafe closing. Olivia and the girl entered the cafe and looked around. There were 5 people inside. All of them looked rather decent. Can you figure out who's the thief? It's the man near the coffee machine. His drink is still steaming. It means he's just bought it. When Olivia finally got home, she felt uneasy. She lived alone, but something seemed off. Suddenly, she realized that someone was hiding in her apartment. How did she understand it? Have you noticed the movement in the TV's reflection? It means someone is hiding in the room, possibly behind the couch. Luckily, Olivia noticed it and called the police in time. After this unnerving situation, Olivia invited 3 friends to sleep over at her place. They watched a movie, ate popcorn, and talked until late. Finally, they all went to bed. But something caught Olivia's attention in the middle of the night. She understood that someone was awake. Can you figure out which of Olivia's friends isn't sleeping? Renata is awake. She's pretending to be asleep, but she's using her cell phone. The soft glow of the screen and the way she holds the device under the blanket reveal that she hasn't turned it off. In the morning, Olivia was going to have a piece of cake she left for breakfast. Sadly, someone had already eaten her dessert. None of her friends admits to doing it. Look at them attentively and help Olivia find the one with a sweet tooth. There's some chocolate on Brian's sleeve. He must have eaten Olivia's cake. The girl went to the supermarket to get another treat for herself. While entering the store, she heard an alarm go off when a young woman tried to leave the store. A security guard stopped her and asked whether she had a receipt. She did, so the guard checked the girl's purchases. Everything looked okay, and the man wanted to let the girl go. But Olivia stopped him. Why? The date on the receipt is wrong. Look at that digital screen on the wall, displaying the current date. The girl must have bought all the products the day before and then came the next day to steal the same stuff. Olivia wanted to get some salad for lunch and was choosing between these 3. Can you help her pick the only fresh salad? The salad on the right has flies flying all over it. Yuck! The salad in the middle has cheese with mold in it. But it's not that kind of cheese, it's just gone bad. So the only fresh salad is the one on the left. On her way home, Olivia decided to walk through the park again. She saw 2 girls there. They were in a clearing with lots of berries growing there. Apparently, the girls were hungry because they both decided to snack on the berries. Olivia realized that for one of them, it was going to be a grave mistake. Which girl is in danger? The girl on the right is about to munch on the berries that have knocked off a bird. See? It means they might be poisonous for her too. As for the girl on the left, she's probably not in danger. After stopping the girls and sharing some food with them, Olivia kept walking. Soon, she reached a riverbank and saw a glass bottle lying there. The bottle looked old, and Olivia had put a lot of effort into opening it. To her shock, a genie appeared from the bottle. He promised to grant her 3 wishes. His only condition was that she couldn't wish for more wishes. Olivia agreed and still managed to get more wishes. How did she do it? She started with wishing that the genie allowed her to ask for more wishes.
Hey, ready to do some massive rock and rolling with your brain muscles? Let's start anyway. Just kidding. Detective Jenny receives an anonymous report. One of the 3 guests at a local cafe is a thief. Can you help her figure out who? The first guy holds female jewelry, but it could be a gift for his girlfriend because there are 2 cups at his table. Plus, there are security cameras everywhere, so he wouldn't flash the jewelry so openly if it was stolen. The same is true for the 3rd guy with 2 phones. So, the 2nd guy who's hiding cash in his socks is the thief. Oh no! One of the customers just collapsed at a small store. He needs to be taken to the hospital, but the store owner doesn't have a vehicle. Which one of these 3 cars should he try to stop and ask for a lift? The first car is already full. The ambulance has an emergency siren on. It must already have a patient inside who needs urgent help, so it won't stop. So he should try with the police car. They made it to the hospital, but now it's time to choose between the 3 entry gates. The first one is for regular patients, the second leads to the doctor's offices, and the third is for emergency cases. Which one should they choose? The first and second ones are overcrowded, so they should enter the doctor's offices and get help and guidance there. There is this mystery box Sammy needs to open, but the problem is she can't use her hands. She's breaking her head over it and doesn't notice her friend entering the room. She twists her ankle and falls over him. Ouch! He helps her up, and then she knows what to do with the box. Any ideas about what it is? The instructions said not to use her hands, but it didn't say anything about getting help from others. She just asked her friend to open the box. Real estate ads sometimes lie to make you rent an apartment with a secret. Like maybe there was a maniac living there before you. Can you tell if there's one living in any of these apartments? Those photos in the second apartment look really creepy. Maybe the maniac keeps track of his targets in this way. What about these 2 apartments? Again, there's a maniac living in one of them. That axe sure looks like something only a maniac would keep in the house. Whoops! Wendy ended up in some scary room, and the only way out is through a door protected by some extra security logistical password. Wendy needs to choose one of the 4 objects on the screen that doesn't fit in here for some reason. Can you help her out? A plastic straw, a paper cup, and a pack of wet wipes are all single-use items. The ceramic plate is the only non-disposable item here. She needs to press the button number 2 to unlock the lab door. Mrs. Stone is an influential woman and a picky client. She gets really unhappy about her haircut and calls the manager. He asks who did her hair, and she can't tell because the hairdressers are twins, and they both deny doing it. Can you figure out who's to blame? It's this twin on the right. Mrs. Stone's short blue hair is still on her black dress. Someone steals a safe box from a wealthy mansion. All they have is this footage of the thief. A couple of days later, Lena, the heiress, meets the man of her dreams. He wants to find out every little detail about her. She brings him home, and her dad calls the police immediately. Why? The man in the footage has the same tattoo on his arm. He must be so interested in Lena to learn the code for the safe box. It could be some important date for the family. A local TV channel did a piece on a new restaurant that is so great that you can never find an empty table and you have to book weeks ahead. The idea was to bring even more guests in, but after the piece, people stopped going there altogether. Why? They saw this reflection in the wall mirror. These aren't people, but cardboard cutouts. I wouldn't go to a place that lies to customers like this either. At a gala dinner, Jack meets the most beautiful girl he's ever seen. He falls in love immediately, but it turns out she's already married. Can you guess which one of these guys is her spouse? It's this guy here. He's the only one who doesn't have a drink in his hands, and the beautiful girl is holding 2 glasses, one for herself and one for her husband. Sorry, Jack. Nevertheless, he persisted. Jack decides to keep looking and goes on a date with a girl he met online. He clearly wrote that all he wants is someone who's honest with him, even if it's the small things. He asks the girl different questions, and one of them is if she's a natural blonde. Once she answers yes, he says their relationship won't work out. Why? The girl has really dark roots and eyebrows. There's nothing wrong with that, but she just lied. She's not a natural blonde, and Jack can't stand any lies. Meanwhile, Sarah and John are looking for their first house together. Aww. The real estate agent showed them 3 options. The first one has the most beautiful location, and the price is super affordable. The second house is super spacious, and again, the price is really good. The third one looks the least impressive, and the price is the same. What should they choose? They should go for the third house. There's mold in the first one, and the second one has a cockroach problem. Sue wants to get her nails done and chooses a fancy place where they take care of everything. They even take her bag into safe storage so she doesn't have to worry about it. Oops, looks like someone went through it while she was busy. One of her favorite earrings is missing. There are 3 suspects. Who did it? It must be the receptionist. She only has 1 earring, and it matches the second one that's still in storage. Kira went to a big party, and someone stole her wallet. Yikes! Her credit card was inside, but no cash whatsoever. The police were able to narrow it down to 3 suspects. Sam said she was singing karaoke, and everyone could confirm it. Jim said he spent 40 minutes in line for the toilet. Jody said she was loaded and didn't need someone else's credit card. Who's lying here? The only way Jody could know that the wallet only had 1 credit card inside was to actually steal it. It was her. 2 girls are sitting at the same table at a coffee shop. One of them is talking about an article she's working on as a journalist. The second girl is complaining about her boyfriend, who's become really distant lately. Sometimes the answers match, but otherwise it looks like they are just interrupting each other. What's going on here? These 2 girls aren't speaking to each other. They're talking on their phones through wireless headphones. Nate wants to visit the new popular cafe downtown. They work on a first-come, first-served basis, and getting a table is really tricky. But he has enough experience to spot one table that will be free soon. How does he know it? There's a bill and the money already on the table. It means these ladies right here are about to leave, and Nate can grab this table. A famous artist was presenting a new painting. While everyone was looking at it, someone stole her old masterpiece worth millions. The police questioned everyone and narrowed down the suspects to 3 people. Steve is the waiter, and he was busy serving drinks. Mark is a professional musician, and he says he was playing the piano. Natalie says she had to go out to discuss something on the phone, so it wasn't her. Who's the thief? Mark said he was playing the piano, but there are no musical instruments in the exhibition hall. It was him. Hey there, you ready to flex your brain muscles? Well, let's go. Uh-oh, looks like their parents never told these girls not to walk on railway tracks. The train is heading their way. But only one girl is in real danger. Can you guess who and why? The girl with the walking stick is Bling, but she can hear the train. The girl with the earplugs won't notice it approaching, so she's in real danger of being highly trained. The police officer is asking the guy to identify his sister. She must have done something terrible. Can you guess which of the girls she is? Don't let the red hair trick you. The guy and the girl on the right have the same necklace. Must be a family heirloom. So she's definitely his sister. A robot broke into a hospital and is pretending to be a nurse. It's up to no good. So here's your chance to save some lives. Who's the real nurse here? Although they both look pretty human, the girl on the left is the only real one here. You can see a chip in the neck of the girl on the right in the reflection in the mirror. This one is a robot. An extraterrestrial came from a distant planet to learn more about us humans. It has learned to imitate real people so well that almost no one can tell the difference. What about you? The guy on the left is holding his coffee without using his fingers. Must be because he's an extraterrestrial and doesn't have any. A dangerous criminal is on the loose. The guy knows it's a beautiful girl, but she keeps changing her appearance, so he has no idea if she is the girl on the left or the lady on the right. Well, both of them look dangerously beautiful, but only the one on the right is hiding a knife behind the toy. She's clearly dangerous. A couple went on a date, but it went terribly wrong, and they found themselves on different sides of the bridge. One of them is in serious danger. Do you see who it is? Although those girls look really sinister, the guy is actually in trouble. Look closely. The bridge right under his feet is cracking. Oops. Everyone at the City Museum is waiting for a princess to give her the treasures that used to belong to her family. 2 girls arrive and claim to be the royal heir, but one of them is lying. Can you identify her? Look at this picture closely. There's a price tag on this princess's tiara, so she definitely doesn't deserve the crown jewels. Tom's grandma was one cool and wealthy lady. Before passing away, she had left a note. Tom found it only 4 years later. It said, "I hid all my jewels and the gold coins at 3 p.m. sharp under my favorite birch tree, right where its shadow ends." He rushed to the tree, waited until the right time, and started to dig. But there was nothing there. Why? It's been 4 years since Grandma hid her treasures. The tree has grown taller, and its shadow has become longer too. A criminal stole a painting that's worth millions from an art gallery. One visitor noticed he got into a white car, but he parked it next to 2 other white cars and ran inside an apartment building. How can the police find out which of the cars belonged to the thief? The ground under the first and third cars is dry, but since the ground under the second is wet, it means it just arrived. Jim sees an ad on TV. Whoever can hold their breath underwater for longer than 8 minutes can set a new record and get $5,000. He never did it before and has no training for it, but he manages to set the record and gets the money. How did he do it? He was just holding a glass of water above his head for 9 minutes. Wow, and he got away with that? The luxury shoe store just got a new pair decorated with gems that cost as much as a fancy sports car. They invited the press and some VIP guests to the presentation. But oh no, while everyone was looking at the screen, the shoes were gone. Can you guess who stole them? Compare the images. This journalist suddenly became visibly taller. She must be wearing the stolen shoes with high heels. Lisa is on a date at the coffee shop. The guy keeps talking about his expensive cars and villas. She seems doubtful, so he wants to impress her and brings her the most expensive drink on the menu. And that's when she knows he's definitely a liar. What gave him away? The drink has a name on it, and that name is Chiara. The guy just stole it when it was ready. I have 6 faces and 21 eyes, but I cannot see. What am I? The correct answer is dice. 2 besties, Sally and April, go to a party. April really likes one of the guys she meets there, but she's shy to say his name out loud. So, she shows Sally her phone and opens some apps, one after another. Can you tell me the name of her crush? If we put together the first letters of each app, we'll get the name Jack. Anastasia has applied for a job at a company that does professional expertise to tell real paintings from fakes. The interviewer likes Anastasia and offers her to sign the contract immediately. But she refuses to sign it and then gets the job. Does it make any sense? Looks like the contract was the final test. There were clearly no rockets flying in Van Gogh's Starry Night. Anastasia noticed it and got the job. Sam is a fan of horror movies. He grabs some popcorn and sits down to watch the new episode of his favorite show. 15 minutes later, Sam himself looked like he was in a horror movie. Yet no one broke into the apartment. Can you guess what happened here? Sam's cat, Mr. Spicy, must have gotten scared with all the terrible sounds that came from the TV. It jumped on top of Sam and scratched him. 3 best friends are traveling in Europe. When they arrived at the airport, they discovered their flight was really from a different airport, and it was an hour's drive from the one they were at. Their flight is at 11 a.m. They can either catch a taxi for $120 or buy tickets for a later flight for $200. What should they do? Look at the clock. It's 10:30, so there's no way they can make it on time. New tickets it is. One of her 3 bodyguards is blackmailing a famous singer. They say they'll sell all her secrets to the media unless she pays $1 million. She's too afraid to tell the police the name in front of the suspects, so she makes a secret code. The names of the bodyguards are Lisa, Jake, and Bill. So, who's the bad guy here? If you turn the code upside down, the numbers will look like a name. It's Bill. A teacher gives his students a task to make a presentation about their favorite hobbies. Steve has the most impressive one. He snowboards, he does bungee jumping, meets with celebrities, and volunteers at the dog shelter. But everyone figures out he's just lying. How did they guess? When you look closer, you can see that all these photos are from different accounts on Instagram, and you can't see his face in any of them. Well, Steve took revenge for this humiliation. He punctured one of the tires on the teacher's car. Luckily, there's an extra tire in the trunk, but the teacher doesn't have 4 bolts to attach it. What should he do? He can unscrew one bolt from the other 3 tires and attach them to the new one. Each of the wheels will have 3 bolts, which should be enough to get to the nearest car repair shop. I have one eye, but I cannot see. What am I? The answer is a needle. Its eye is used for some other purposes, you know. Olivia here is a young mom, and boy, her life can get pretty hectic. But with your help, I'm sure it's going to get much easier. One day, she came home with a stroller, took off her coat, checked her phone, and went to change her baby, Jordan. Just a minute later, she needed to leave again, but she couldn't find her keys. Wow. Can you help her figure out where they are? I wonder if you noticed that she put them in the stroller pocket while checking her phone. Olivia's baby drinks 5 ounces of baby formula at a time and eats 5 times a day. How much milk should Olivia prepare for 2 days? Ooh, some math. Olivia needs to prepare 50 ounces of milk, which is 5 ounces times 5 times 2 days equals 50 ounces. One day, Olivia put Jordan down to nap, but 10 minutes later, the baby started crying. The woman rushed to the bedroom to see what had happened. Oh no, the pacifier was gone. Olivia searched the crib and the floor, but it was nowhere to be found. Where could it be? Look at the baby's tiny fist. The pacifier is clutched in it. Jordan probably squeezed it while falling asleep. Olivia was washing 8 pairs of baby socks. When she hung them up to dry, she realized one sock was missing. How many socks are left? Can you help her count? Now there are only 15 socks. 8 pairs minus 1 sock equals 15. Perfect. But now, we gotta help Olivia find the missing sock. Can you see it? Yep, it's on the baby's little foot. Olivia must have gotten distracted and put it on Jordan without realizing it. Once Olivia took Jordan for a walk in the park. There, she saw 2 women with strollers. One of them is a young mom and the other is a nanny. Can you help Olivia figure out who the real mom is? The woman on the right is a nanny. She's holding a planner with the child's schedule, feeding times, naps, walks, activities, stuff like that. The real mom doesn't need any notes because she remembers everything. Or she thinks she does. When Olivia's kid grew a little bit, they got invited to their neighbor's child's birthday party. But when they came there, Olivia saw something very strange. Can you figure out what appeared strange to her? If you've noticed it, you're very observant. The woman seems to be filling the kids' cups with milk. But how is she doing it if the jug is actually empty? Ooh, what if she's an alien? Oops, wrong video. Never mind. One day, Olivia's 10-year-old niece visited them. To treat the kids, the woman cooked delicious pastries and left them on the kitchen table. Suddenly, her phone started ringing and she left the children alone for a minute to answer it. When she came back, one of the pastries was missing. Olivia's niece said it was Jordan who took the pastry, but Olivia didn't believe her. Why? Jordan is too short not only to grab the pastry but to even reach the table. The girl must have eaten the pastry and is now trying to frame the kid. Olivia and Jordan were invited to another birthday party. Look at the food the hosts are treating them with and help the woman figure out which dish is safe for her kid. Well, I wouldn't risk eating this cake. It smells really bad. Flies are resting on these cookies. Luckily, these apples look safe to eat. It's Jordan's first day at a nursery school. Both Olivia and the kid are excited, and they don't want to be late. But here's a problem. There are 3 paths leading to the school building. Please help Olivia choose the best way. The road on the left is blocked by a fallen tree further ahead. The path in the middle has an open maintenance hole, which can lead to an accident. At the same time, the road on the right looks pretty safe. They should pick this route. Olivia and Jordan were on the playground. Jordan was playing in the sand, and Olivia was watching him. Suddenly, the woman realized that one of the kids' toys was missing. It was an orange teddy bear. She looked around and saw only 3 other people around. Can you figure out who took the bear? It was that elderly man. Look, the teddy bear's paw is sticking out of his pocket. Who knows why he took it? Some years later, Olivia left Jordan alone at home for the first time and told him to be a good boy. But when she came back an hour later, she understood that the boy had done something he shouldn't have done. Look at the room attentively and try to figure out what 3 things upset Olivia. First of all, look at those brown crumbs on the floor near the bed. Jordan ate some chocolate cookies. The TV remote is not in the same place as before. The boy must have taken it to switch on the TV and watch cartoons. And finally, he was in a creative mood. Look at that drawing on the wall near the door. Jordan's birthday is around the corner, and the boy asks Olivia to invite his best friend to the party. Olivia is confused. Jordan is a very outgoing kid and has loads of friends. He's especially close to these 3 children. Look at Jordan's room and try to help Olivia figure out which kid is Jordan's best friend. It's this blonde boy. A kid's painting depicting him is hanging on the wall over Jordan's bed. Olivia invited not only Jordan's best friend, but also many other kids to her son's birthday party. When all of them showed up, she realized that one guest came uninvited. Can you spot the intruder? Look at this girl wearing a witch outfit. She was definitely going to a Halloween party. How did she end up at Jordan's birthday party? She was an alien. When it was time to bring in Jordan's birthday cake, Olivia was horrified. The cake was missing. The kids were all together and didn't leave the playroom, so it must be one of the parents who took the cake. Olivia switched on detective mode and soon understood who the thief was. Can you figure it out too? It's this granny. Look at her blouse, that dark stain. Isn't it chocolate? She's the one who took the cake. Hey, we should introduce her to the grandpa who took the orange teddy bear. What do you think? At first, Olivia panicked, but luckily, she found the solution fast enough. She called the nearest bakery and ordered another cake. They said they would send one immediately and asked her to pick a delivery person. Look at these 3 delivery people and select the most trustworthy. This guy on the left has a cast on his arm. Not very convenient for riding a bike, is it? The girl on the left seems fine, but look at her bike. The front tire is flat. So the man in the middle seems to be the safest bet. The party is over and Jordan is happy. He wants to count all the presents he's got. But ooh, they're all over the place. Look at the room very carefully and try to spot all the gifts. One, two, three. Well, these are easy to find. 4. It's under the bed. 5 and 6. One is on the armchair and the other is under the pillow on the bed. And finally, 7. It's hiding on top of the wardrobe. Jordan is now old enough to start studying French, and Olivia is looking for a tutor for her boy. Look at these 3 professionals and help the woman pick the best one. Look at this lady on the right. Her t-shirt has the Eiffel Tower and the word France on it, but the name of the country is written incorrectly. It should be spelled like this. What teacher doesn't know this? The man in the middle has a police badge on his shirt pocket. He must be a police officer. What is he even doing here? So the best and only option is this young girl on the left. Merci beaucoup.
Do werewolves bother you every full moon? Do ghosts haunt your attic? Do you suspect that your neighbor is a vampire? Well, Amelia is the person you need. She's a professional dealing with supernatural creatures, and here's what her regular day looks like. Right after waking up, Amelia had a simple mental warm-up before a hard-working day. She counted how many vampires there were in a hospital room, and it took her less than half a minute. How much time will you need? Well, the blonde woman has a bloody stain on her cheek. Suspicious. The twins seem to be vampires as well. The first one can't stand the light. The second one's feet are covered with mud. He must have been hunting barefoot last night. The black-haired lady holding her neck is turning into a vampire, and there's also one more vampire hiding beneath the bed. So, there are 5 vampires in total. Next, she decided to figure out which influencer was a vampire. Can you help her spot the supernatural creature? The first lady has a big collection of sunglasses. Is she trying to hide something? But why would she have a mirror then? Vampires have no reflection. The second lady, on the contrary, has no mirrors. She doesn't need them because she's a vampire. So she has a rail to hang on when she turns into a bat. On the first real case today, Amelia has been invited to investigate a biting case at a wedding. Shockingly, it's the groom himself who's been bitten. The bride and her maids look pretty suspicious. The redhead has fangs. The bride has a stain on her dress. And the black-haired lady has blood on her lips. Who's guilty? Look at the groom's body language. He's trying to ask for help, looking at the redhead, so she's not the one who bit him. The bride was the one who was close enough to the groom to bite him and to get that bloody stain. As for the black-haired lady, she just seems to have some makeup malfunctions. Amelia went to buy coffee and found this boy. He got lost. Soon, 2 women, if we can call them this way, appeared in front of her. Both the vampire and the alien claimed that the boy was her son. Help Amelia find out who the mother of the child is, the vampire or the alien. Look at the toy the boy is playing with. It's a little alien, so it seems that the boy and the redhead alien are relatives. Amelia hardly had enough time to drink her coffee when a client wrote to her. He suspected that one of his 2 new maids was a werewolf. Amelia looked at the girls' rooms attentively and realized which one was a werewolf. Have you guessed? The room on the left is messy and untidy, while the right one is almost immaculate. But there's one weird thing. Look at the headboard. There are belts to keep werewolves in place when it's full moon. The girl occupying this room is a werewolf. Amelia went to investigate another case. Someone in this family secretly became a vampire and they bit the father a second ago. Can you help her understand who it was? There's something red on the boy's plate, but it's likely ketchup. He's eating a burger. The boy is drinking something red, but it can be simple juice. Look at the mother. She doesn't seem to be wearing any lipstick, and still, she's got something red next to her lips. She must be a vampire. Plus, she's the only person tall enough to reach the man's neck. A businessman called Amelia and invited her to his office. He was sure that one of his employees was a vampire. Look at these office workers attentively and find the one who's not human. The lady is drinking good old water, and you can see some drops on her chin. The man in a blue shirt is drinking soda. We can see some bubbles in his glass. The blonde man seems to be drinking some tea or coffee, but we can't be sure since his cup isn't transparent. One more hint that he's a vampire is extensive makeup on his face and foundation stains on his white shirt and the plate. It means he covered his pale skin on his face and palms with makeup. He must be the vampire. In the afternoon, Amelia traveled to the seaside to crack some cases connected with mermaids. For example, she had to figure out which mermaid was this man's wife. Have you understood it too? Do you see that tattoo on the man's neck? It's the letter L. The mermaid on the right has a tattoo as well. It's the letter J. They almost likely had the first letters of each other's names tattooed on their skin, so they must be husband and wife. While she was on the beach, Amelia was watching people, and suddenly she realized that one of them wasn't human. Look at these young people playing beach volleyball. Can you figure out who's not human? It's this girl. If you compare her with her friends, she's the only one who's not sweating and isn't red-faced because of the heat and exertion. Amelia decided to take a bus to get to the city. At one point, she realized that some of the passengers on that bus were zombies. Can you spot them too? There are two zombies on the bus. This man with a bandage on his neck and one ear missing. And this business lady sitting near the window. She's making bizarre growling noises. After arriving at the city, Amelia found out that a robot had committed a crime. Unfortunately, the police were unable to catch the culprit immediately. But they suspended 3 people, and each of them could be the criminal. They invited Amelia to figure out the true identities of those people. She had a knife, a screwdriver, a bottle of water, and a pen. Which object should she use to reach her goal? Amelia should make the suspects drink from the bottle. The robot will either refuse or short circuit. A scared store owner called Amelia, claiming there was a vampire in his store. When she arrived there, she couldn't find the store owner. But there were 3 other people inside. Look at them attentively and help Amelia figure out which of them is a vampire. Well, the first one's eyes are pretty red, but maybe he hasn't had enough sleep or is coming down with the flu. The second visitor seems to be freezing. Almost all parts of her body are covered with some clothing. Could be the air conditioning. But look at the third person. He's drinking something red from a glass using a straw. He must be the vampire you're looking for. Now, where is that store owner? Amelia decided to drop by her office, and coincidentally, a very pale woman covering a bite on her neck with her hand entered. She said that when she'd been going home the evening before, someone had attacked her and turned her into a vampire. She wanted to find the culprit. After investigating the case, Amelia had 3 suspects. Look at them attentively and find the one who turned the woman into a vampire. This elderly man has no teeth, so he can't be a vampire. This woman has tan marks, but vampires can't sunbathe. So the man wearing gloves must have turned Amelia's client into a vampire. Since it was almost the end of the week, Amelia decided to take a mini vacation and go to visit her friends in Miami. During dinner, they told her about a mysterious mansion with a very bad reputation. Those who once entered it never came back. Amelia went to explore the building. Soon, she realized she was lost. Suddenly, she found herself in a large room with 4 doors. Behind the first door, there was a mummy. Behind the second door, a vampire was hiding. The third door led into the den of a hungry wolf. And behind the fourth door, there was a ghost. Which door should Amelia opt for to get out of the mansion unharmed? The mummy can potentially be very dangerous. The vampire behind the second door is also far from friendly. The wolf, especially hungry, can easily attack a person. In comparison, the ghost is relatively harmless. Amelia should choose the fourth door. And which supernatural creature scares you most? Comment below.
Joe was an industrial archaeologist. He went to check out an abandoned factory in a remote area. He climbed up a long chimney using an old rotten ladder that was hanging around. But when he reached the top, the ladder fell. Now, Joe could yell for someone to come help him, or he could use old pieces of the ladder. He could also knock down the bricks one by one to get down. What should he choose? Well, let's see. Yelling for help won't do him any good since he was in a remote area and there was no one around to hear him. The ladder was way too broken, so that's a no-go. That's why he chose the last option. He knocked out the bricks row by row, eventually dismantling the chimney. Genius. Rachel met 2 interesting guys at the same party. They both claimed to be polar explorers and were trying hard to impress her. Bob took out his cell phone and showed Rachel a picture of a whalebone. He said he saw a beautiful whale last time he was in the Arctic and wanted to give her the whalebone. Patrick told her that once, during New Year's Eve, he was freezing cold and wanted to start a fire, so he unscrewed the lens of his binoculars, tore out pages from his field journal and started a fire. Rachel was smart and she immediately figured out who was lying to her. Can you figure it out too? Patrick was the liar. It's impossible to start a fire from sunlight on New Year's Eve in the Arctic. The sun disappears from October to March, causing something called the polar night. Rachel knew this, so she knew he was lying. It was finally Kim's wedding day. She booked the most expensive hotel in her town. Hundreds of guests flew in from different parts of the country. Everything was perfect. An hour before the ceremony, one of the guests called the receptionist saying that her multi-million-dollar necklace had been stolen. She left the room early to go to the pool, and when she came back, the necklace was gone. The police arrived quickly and said that the thief was probably still at the hotel. So they lined up all the guests and hotel staff to figure out who had stolen the necklace. After talking to everyone, they narrowed it down to 3 suspects. Brenda, one of the maids, said she was cleaning the bridal suite all morning. Roberta, the receptionist, said she didn't leave her desk all morning since she was greeting the arriving guests. Claire, the waitress, said she was serving drinks by the pool during the morning. Take a look at the image. Can you figure out who is the culprit? If you look closely, you'll see that there's something weird about the waitress. She isn't looking directly at her customer in the eye. Plus, take a look at the string from the tea bag. It's not really a string. It's the necklace's chain. She must have seen the guest at the pool and pulled off the robbery. It's Emma's first week at her new IT job in San Francisco. She got so caught up during the onboarding that she almost missed lunch. By the time she went down to the cafeteria, there weren't many options left. Take a look at the picture. What's Emma's safest choice? The burger looks nice, but there's a lipstick stain on the bun, so that's a no. The apple pie is steaming, but it looks like it's been microwaved dozens of times and it's about to go bad. Her safest choice is probably the frozen pizza. They defrost it on the spot. Hey, at least she won't get food poisoning. Serena swiped left on a cute guy named Jonathan, and they set up to meet for dinner in New York City. Serena arrived at the restaurant, but there were 3 different men sitting alone. Take a look at the image. Can you figure out which one of them is Jonathan? The guy on the first table is probably not alone, since there's a purse hanging on the chair in front of him. His date is probably just in the bathroom. The second guy is probably at a business meeting, since you can see someone left their blazer on the table. It's the third guy. Plus, if you look closely, he's wearing a necklace with a J on it. To get out of an AI-simulated reality, Eddie has to ace this evil AI's tests. For his first challenge, he's taken to a restaurant where a waitress shows him 4 glasses. Each glass is filled with the same liquid water and has an object inside of it. The first cup has a paperclip inside it. The second has a pen, and the third glass has a phone. The waitress asks Eddie which glass has more water than the rest. Can you figure out the correct answer? The paperclip weighs almost nothing, while the other objects are way heavier. This means that there's probably less water inside the other glasses. He should pick the first cup. To sweeten things up, this crazy AI creates a virtual baking competition that Eddie has to win. There were 3 judges, and they each told Eddie what their favorite cake was. The first judge expressed his love for chocolate pies. Judge number 2 said he loved berry pies more than anything in the world. And Judge 3 said he was fond of pecan pies. To win, Eddie has to figure out which one of them wasn't telling the truth. Can you figure out who it was? It was judge number 2. Do you see the chocolate stains and pie crumbles on the second judge's shirt? That could only mean he was enjoying a slice of chocolate pie before arriving at the competition venue. Eddie was doing a great job beating the AI on his own game. For his final challenge, the AI took Eddie to a wedding venue, except that he was the groom. He needed to figure out which one of the women he was getting married to. Take a look at the image. Who is his bride? The first one looks like she has a commitment ring on, so it can't be her. The second one has half a heart tattooed on her ankle with 2 initials. She's probably committed as well. This leaves Eddie the last woman, and she's the bride. Claudia's boss asked her to pick up his car at the repair shop and get it back to the company's headquarters by lunchtime. Her boss was a tough man, and she didn't want to disappoint him, so she wanted to plan ahead to take the quickest route. Google Maps is showing her 3 different ways leading to the city center. Take a look at the image. Can you help her figure out which one is the best road to take? The first road has a lot of stop signs, so that's probably going to take her a long time. If you look closely, the second road went out of the city, but it had quite a few mud puddles along the way. That's not good if you're looking for speed. The best was probably the third road. It had just one roundabout, but is probably the fastest option. Jake is a young new musician, and he sent one of his original songs to a producer. But the producer was trying to pull a fast one on him. He wanted to release the song without giving Jake any credits. So Jake asked a friend to hack into the producer's PC. When he accessed his IP, a strange code appeared. Jake and his friend needed to decipher the code in order to break in. Take a look at the image. Can you figure out what the code stands for? It's way simpler than you might think. The answer is 1346172. You just needed to pay close attention and see that all the numbers were shown with their mirror reflections. Easy peasy.
Carol was invited to a Halloween party in an abandoned house. Her friends asked if she was up for a challenge, and she said yes. Soon enough, she was locked inside a room. In this room, there was one door and 3 light switches next to it. Behind the door, there was an empty closet with nothing but a light bulb. Her task was to figure out which switch controlled the light bulb inside the closet. She could flip the switches however she wanted, but once she opened the door, she couldn't touch the switches anymore. Sometime later, she managed to get it right. How did Carol do it? Okay, let's go step by step. She flipped switch number 1, then waited for a few minutes. Then, she flipped it back to off and immediately flipped switch number 2. Then, she opened the door and checked the light. It was turned off. So she realized it wasn't switch number 2 that controlled the light. She decided to touch the bulb to test if it was hot or cold. If the bulb was cold, it would mean that switch number 3 controlled it. But the bulb was hot. So that meant that switch number 1 controlled it. Way to go, Carol! To get back to the party, Carol had to solve another riddle. There were 2 hourglasses in front of her. One hourglass measured 7 minutes, and the other measured 4 minutes. She needed to time 9 minutes using both hourglasses. How could she do it? First, she turned over both hourglasses at the same time. By the time the 4-minute hourglass was done, the other one still had 3 minutes left. Carol flipped the 4-minute hourglass over again. By the time the 7-minute hourglass was empty, there was 1 minute left on the other hourglass. And by the time the 4-minute hourglass emptied again, there was 1 minute's worth of sand in the bottom half of the 7-minute timer. She flipped it over again, so there was 1 minute's worth of sand in the top part of the hourglass. And when the 7-minute timer finally emptied again, 9 minutes had passed in total. Phew, that took some work. Someone stole a rare diamond from Mrs. Monica Fraser's house. Mrs. Fraser claimed she'd walked into her bedroom one morning and found that the glass box in her dressing room had been broken and the diamond had been gone. She called a detective, who soon arrived at her place and asked some questions. Based on his inquiries, he gathered 3 suspects. Mrs. Fraser's gardener, Steve, had the key to the house. Her cousin Sophia was staying with her for the week, and the cleaning lady Adeline cleaned the house every day. Steve said he was on holiday that week, so he wasn't anywhere near the house when it had happened. Sophia said she didn't even know her cousin had a diamond hidden in her house. And Adeline said that she'd been cleaning the house at around 10 p.m. the previous night. Everything had seemed all right. Who stole the jewelry? It was the cleaning lady. It seems that right after she broke the glass and stole the diamond, she also wiped off the pieces of glass left on the floor. On a cold winter day, Jason woke up after a medical procedure. He was lying in bed when the doctor walked into his room, saying there were 3 women outside claiming to be his wife. All 3 of them wanted to see Jason, but only his wife was allowed to do so. Look at the women. Which one do you think is telling the truth? The woman wearing a white shirt is the only one that has a ring on her left finger. She's the wife. It was a lazy Sunday morning, and John was having breakfast in the kitchen. Suddenly, he heard glass shattering. He walked into the living room and saw that someone had just broken one of his windows. He was mad and decided to go outside to see if he could find the culprit. There were only 3 people in the street, so he talked to each of them. The first was one of his neighbor's children. He was coming back from his football practice, holding a ball in his hands. He said he'd been going home at the time of the incident. The second person was Stephen, John's neighbor and longtime friend. He was carrying a toolbox. The man said he decided to come home to fix John's window. The last person was Julio, a mailman. He was riding his bike, throwing newspapers on people's front lawns. He said it had been hours since he'd passed John's house. Soon enough, John figured out who had done it. How? It was the mailman. If you look at the lawn, the newspaper is lying on the grass beneath the window. He threw the newspaper towards the mailbox, but missed it, and it hit John's window. Whoops. It was a stormy night. Kate and her boyfriend stayed up late watching a soap opera. In the middle of it, there was a weather forecast. The weather lady said it would keep raining for 2 more days, but in 72 hours, it'd be bright and sunny. Kate turned to her boyfriend and said that the weather lady was wrong, and the girl was right. Why? Because in 72 hours, it will also be nighttime, so it can't possibly be bright and sunny. It was Amelia's dream to go skydiving, but she was afraid of heights. One day, her friend took her to fulfill her dream. Amelia jumped from an airplane without a parachute and didn't get hurt. How is that possible? The plane wasn't flying, it was still on the ground. Duh. Dave, an archaeologist, traveled to Egypt on a very special mission. He spent days excavating ruins hidden under the sand, and the only thing he found was a coin marked 10 BCE. When he showed it to his colleagues, they told him the coin was a fake. Why? Well, because the designation BCE didn't appear until after the beginning of our era. It was raining when Mrs. Moore called the police. She said someone had just bumped into her car and driven away. When the police arrived, the only person next to the place of the incident was a man fixing his tire. Mrs. Moore said that that was the car that had bumped into hers. However, the gentleman said that it couldn't be true because he'd been busy fixing his car the whole time. Can you tell who's lying? It's the guy fixing his car. The rain started just recently. If he'd been fixing his car this whole time, the ground underneath it would be dry. But look, it's wet. This means he's just arrived there and is actually the one responsible for the incident. 4 friends decided to meet up for coffee one afternoon. Someone asked which one of them was the oldest, and they answered with a riddle. Mia is 3 times older than Anna, but 3 years ago, Anna was a year younger than Claudia is now, and Olivia is twice as old as Anna. So can you put the girls into order by age? The correct order is Mia, Olivia, Anna, and Claudia. Here's a quick one. What belongs to you, but others use it more often? Your name. Outside a fancy palace, 2 sentinels were guarding the main gate. They were standing, looking in different directions, one towards the west and the other towards the east. At some point, one of the sentinels asked the other, "What are you smiling about?" How could he know that his colleague was smiling? Well, despite the fact that they were looking in different directions, they weren't standing back to back. They were facing each other. Kevin was away on business and had to spend the night in a hotel. After a full day of meetings, he returned to his room to get some rest. He went to bed but couldn't fall asleep. After tossing and turning in bed for hours, he called someone, didn't say a word, and then finally fell asleep. Who did Kevin call? And how could he finally fall asleep? He called the room next door, as his neighbor was snoring very loudly. The ringing woke the neighbor up, the snoring stopped, and Kevin managed to doze off. You've just come back from a long vacation. There, you bought a new suitcase to store all the new things you got, but you don't remember the code. Luckily, you left yourself a note on your cell phone to help you decipher the code to open the lock. 682. One digit is right and in its place. 614. One digit is right but in the wrong place. 206. 2 digits are right but both are in the wrong place. 768. All digits are wrong. 380. One digit is right, but in the wrong place. What's the 3-digit code? Zero, 4, 2.
4 people are having dinner on a restaurant terrace. Jennifer's wearing 2 large gold bracelets and gold rings on each of her fingers. Martin's fiddling with a brand new phone and checking the time on his smartwatch. Connor has a tattoo on his hand and a dazzling gold watch on his wrist. Steve doesn't have any watches, rings, or bracelets, but he is wearing a smart suit. Only one of them is a millionaire. Can you guess who? It's Steve. He's got car keys in his pocket, and there's a brand new sports car parked nearby. Jennifer has old ripped shoes. All that gold's probably fake. Martin's phone is a knockoff, and Connor has old ripped shoes, just like Jennifer. Mark's teacher is great, but he's also kinda weird. He never lets Mark go home without solving some of his tricky riddles. Here's the first one. How many apples are there on a maple tree if apples grow 5 on a branch and there are 8 branches on the tree? Okay, this one's easy. Apples don't grow on maple trees. This next one's going to be harder. Get ready, said the teacher. Where are there cities with no houses, forests with no trees, and rivers without water? You've got only 7 seconds. Yeah, this one's easy too. On a map. Right, said the teacher. One more and I'll let you go. Who's the person everyone takes their hat off in front of? Mark knew the answer immediately, probably because he's a huge fan of Brightside riddles. Can you guess it? It's a hairdresser, of course. Unless you want a really weird haircut, I guess. Poor Fanny lived with her stepmother and 3 wicked stepsisters. Her dream was to go to her favorite influencer's New Year's party, but her stepmother, Ruth, was pretty mean. She said Fanny could go only if she did everything Ruth asked. Ruth asked Fanny to bring her some water, but only gave her a colander to carry it in. How's Fanny gonna do it? Fanny needs to freeze some water and put it in the colander. Technically, it's still water. Time to choose the perfect dress. Fanny has 3 dresses, a blue one, a red one, and a green one. Which dress should Fanny wear? Find the best one in 10 seconds. Fanny should wear the red dress. That button on the blue dress is about to come off, and one of her stepsisters spilled paint on the green one. Which sister put paint on her dress? All 3 stepsisters are pretty mean. Time to investigate. Fanny snuck into their bedroom. 3 beds for 3 sisters. Bella, the oldest one, Stella, the middle sister, and Ella, the youngest one. Fanny only has a few seconds. Help her out. Can you figure out who ruined her dress? Stella's the culprit. There's a can of paint right under her bed. There's something all people in this world do at exactly the same speed. What is it? Aha, they get older. It flies without wings and cries without eyes. What is it? It's a cloud. What can you see with your eyes closed? A dream. Okay, enough with the easy short riddles. Let's go back to some harder ones. Jack and Jill set up a challenge. Whoever answers yes to every question wins. Jill was sneaky. She realized that there was one question nobody could say yes to. What question is that? The question is, are you sleeping? She waited until Jack fell asleep and then asked him the question. Whoa, those guys are intense. Emily and Mary are putting on their makeup, getting ready for a night out. They have really similar tastes. Their phones look the same, so do their lipsticks, clothes. So which one of them has the more expensive stuff? It's Mary. Take a closer look at Emily. Her dress kind of gives it away, since it's obviously a knockoff. When Mike was 25 years old, he tied a ribbon on a cherry tree in his grandfather's garden. 10 years later, he returned to see how much higher the ribbon was. If the tree grew by an inch each year, how much higher would the ribbon be? It wouldn't have changed position at all. Trees grow from the top up. The trunk just gets wider. A green apple costs $1, a red one costs $2, and a blue one costs $3. What apples and how many of them did Frank buy, if we know that he spent $3 using only 2 bills? Frank bought a green and a red one. He paid $1 bill for the green one and a $2 bill for the red one. Yeah, he could have grabbed the blue one and given the same 2 bills, but blue apples don't exist. Gotcha. 2 houses are on fire. One of them belongs to Jack. He's an accountant. The other one is a luxurious mansion that belongs to James, a pro basketball player. Which fire should the police put out first? Police don't put out fires. That's the fire department's job. 2 people came up to a large river. There was only one boat, and it was pretty old and shabby. The boat can carry only one person at a time, but both people got across the river. How come? One of the people was already on the other side of the river. Only one person needed a boat. 3 friends fell asleep under a tree in the countryside. While they were resting, someone passed by and painted mustaches on their faces. When the friends woke up, they started to laugh. But then, all of a sudden, they stopped. Why? At first, they saw the mustaches on their friends' faces and found it funny. But then, they realized their friends were laughing too. They had mustaches on their faces as well. Alice was walking through a dark forest. Suddenly, she saw an old cabin. Hey, wonder if a witch lives in there. She wanted to try her luck and snoop around, but the door was locked. On the gate, though, was a note with a secret code. Well, can you crack this code? The answer is magic. 3 stars before karma means you need to get rid of the first 3 letters. 2 stars after gift mean you need to get rid of the last 2 letters. For coat, you need to get rid of the last 3 letters. Aunt Tilda is a huge fan of cats. She lives in a 1-story house full of cat garden statues, a cat rug, cat wallpaper, cat cushions, and about 100 cat fridge magnets. Oh, and the 25 cats that live with her. What color cat is in the painting upstairs? She lives in a 1-story house. There aren't any cat paintings upstairs. Ashton loves taking and making bets. Every time he meets his friends, he has a new one. Last Friday, he suggested a challenge. He said he could place a bottle in the middle of a room and easily crawl into it. This time, Ashton's friends were sure they'd win. It seemed impossible. Still, Ashton won the bet again. How did he do it? He said he could place a bottle in the room and crawl into it. So he placed a bottle in the middle of the room and crawled into the room. Sneaky. You have 2 ropes. If you burn each side of the rope, it will burn for 60 minutes. How can you measure 45 minutes if you have these 2 ropes and a box of matches? You need to burn one of the ropes from both sides. At the same time, you set fire on the second rope too, but from one side only. When the first rope burns down, the second rope will still have 30 minutes to go. Now, you need to set on fire the second end of the rope. It'll burn 2 times faster, and you'll burn both ropes in 45 minutes. You're in a photo gallery. After looking at the wall, you realize that one of the pictures doesn't belong. You see a raccoon, a llama, a football, and a balloon. Can you tell which is the odd one out? You have 7 seconds to guess. It's the llama. The other 3 objects have 2 double letters in their names, but the llama only has 1. Gabrielle cooked a lovely dinner for her friends. When everybody was at the table, she suddenly realized one of them didn't like the meal. Who was it? It was Mike. He secretly shared it with Gabrielle's dog. 3 plus 3 equals 8. Move just 2 matches to make this equation correct. You've only got 10 seconds. It's 9 minus 9 equals 0. Grab a match from the plus to turn the 3 into a 9, and 1 more match from the 8 to turn the other 3 into a 9. There are 5 apples in a basket and 5 people in the room. Each person takes an apple, but there's still only 1 apple in the basket. How come? The last person took both an apple and the basket. So there. Holly went to the supermarket to buy a watermelon. She found these 4 watermelons, but only one of them is edible. Can you guess which one? The first watermelon is a hologram. See those flashing pixels? The tail of the second watermelon is a green snake, probably not the safest choice. And the fourth watermelon has little cracks. So Holly should choose the third watermelon. One dark, cold night, Harry and Pam were chilling together in their country house. Harry was watching a movie while his wife Pam enjoyed her favorite mystery book. Suddenly, all electricity went out. Harry decided to go to bed, but Pam decided to finish the book. There was no artificial light around, but this fact didn't stop Pam. How is that possible? Pam was listening to an audiobook on her phone. It's big on Saturday and Sunday. It's small on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's absent on Monday and Friday. What are we talking about? It's the letter S. Bella and Ken took a flight to Europe to celebrate their honeymoon. It took them 2.5 hours to reach the destination. After spending 2 weeks together, they flew back home. However, it took 150 minutes this time, even though the plane flew at the same speed. Can you guess why? Turns out that 2.5 hours are exactly 150 minutes. Karen went camping in a jungle with her 3 best friends. They had a wonderful dinner and went to sleep. In the morning, Karen woke up first and found out that someone had eaten all the food from the bag. She questioned her friends. Josh said, "I was very tired and fell asleep as soon as my head touched the pillow. I don't know what happened." Leah said, "I left the tent in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. The food was in the bag near the tree where we left it." Wendy said, "I left the tent at night and spent some time stargazing. I ate just 1 chocolate, I swear." Who ate the food? It was the monkey who was hiding in the tree. See those footprints around the bag? They are definitely not human. Gerald is a college dean. Somebody stole his car this morning. Soon the police found it across the street. The thief hit a pole and escaped. The police interviewed 3 suspects. Holly said, "I was busy having classes all morning. Then I went for a walk with my friends." Brian said, "I was checking the test papers." Rob said, "I skipped classes and spent the day at my girlfriend's studio." Can you guess who stole the car? It was Holly. Take a closer look inside the car. She lost one of her earrings. The combined age of Jenny and Jasmine is 49 years old. Jenny is twice as old as Jasmine was when Jenny was as old as Jasmine is now. How old are the sisters? Jenny is 28 and Jasmine is 21. Lisa likes grapes but not potatoes. She likes squash but not lettuce. Also, she likes peas but not onions. Following the same rule, will she like pumpkins or apples? Pumpkins, because Lisa only prefers things that grow on vines. Which of the following words don't belong to this group and why? Courts. All the other words are anagrams of each other. 2 people participated in a contest. They had to hold something. Finally, the jury announced the winner. It was a person with their hands and feet tied. How can this be possible? It's all simple. The contestants had to hold their breath, and the tied person managed to hold it the longest. Becky is thinking about a 7-letter word that we read very often. Letters 5, 6, and 7 grow every year. Letters 3 and 4 are the same. Letters 3, 2, and 5 cover over 70% of the world. What word is Becky thinking of? The correct answer is message. Our age grows every year, and the sea covers over 70% of the planet. Amy is looking at Nick, and Nick is looking at Mia. Amy is married, and Mia is not. Is a married person looking at the unmarried person? Will you go with a yes or a no? Or is this information insufficient? The correct answer is yes. 2 combinations are possible here. If Nick is married, Mia, who is unmarried, is looking at him, who is married. If Nick is unmarried, we still have Amy, who is married. In this case, she's looking at Nick, who is single, which meets the requirements too. 5 friends were eating apples. Amy finished before Bob, but after Kat. Dan finished before Eve, but after Bob. Can you figure out the exact order in which they finished the apples? Kat, Amy, Bob, Dan, and Eve. Eric's job is to guard a supermarket parking lot. One day, he was walking around the area as usual and noticed that someone had parked the car in the middle of the driveway. He questioned 4 women. "Ladies, who is the owner of this car?" All 4 women replied, "It's not my car." Eric took a closer look at the vehicle and figured out its owner right away. Can you guess which of these women is the owner of the car? It's the First Lady. She's the only person who's not wearing a bag. Her bag is in the car. Peter came home in the evening and found his car wrecked. His 3 roommates were there. Peter decided to find out who was guilty, so he questioned them. Josh replied, "I didn't touch your car. I was walking the dog." Mike said, "That wasn't me. I was playing football with my friend." And Will said, "Nothing special happened today. I was just hanging out with our neighbors." Can you spot the liar? It's Will. He said he'd visited the neighbors, but nobody lives in this abandoned house. Plus, his cheek looks like he was in a crash. Sophie was sleeping. Suddenly, a robber broke into her apartment. He locked Sophie in the bathroom and asked her to stay quiet. Then, the robber began to collect cash and jewelry around the apartment. Suddenly, the phone started ringing. The robber told Sophie to pick up and talk without giving away the situation. Sophie picked up the phone. It was her husband. She said, "Oh, hi, darling. Is it an emergency, darling? Give me a call when you land. I'll cook your favorite meal that will help you relax after your business trip." Then she hung up. 10 minutes later, the police arrived at Sophie's house and caught the robber. Can you guess how the police learned about the robbery? Sophie played with the mute buttons. She pressed mute on specific parts of her conversation to make her husband only hear emergency, call, and help. And he called the police right away. Rick woke up in a weird basement and saw 3 doors. He has only one chance to escape. If he enters one of the doors, he won't be able to use them again. The first door leads to a room with high-voltage wires hanging above the wet floor. Behind the second door, there's a room filled with water and piranhas swimming in it. The third door leads to a space where flesh-melting acid rain is falling from the ceiling. Which door is more or less safe to enter? Rick should choose the first door. He'll be okay if he won't let his body come in contact with the wires and the wet floor at the same time. Jerry called his wife Robin and told her that he would be home by 7 o'clock. They didn't plan anything special for that evening, but when he arrived at 2 minutes past 7, Robin was furious. Why was she so angry? Any ideas? She thought her husband would come home after work by 7 p.m., but he appeared by 7:02 a.m. the next morning. When the day after tomorrow is yesterday, today will be as far from Wednesday as today was from Wednesday when the day before yesterday was tomorrow. What is the day after this day? Can you guess? It's Thursday. Harry and Barry are two magicians performing this evening in two nightclubs on the same street. But one of them is fake. Can you guess who? It's Barry. Take a closer look under the magician's tuxedo. On the right, you can see a restaurant employee badge with his name on it. He must be a waiter who came instead of the real magician. A monkey, a squirrel, and a bird are racing to the top of a coconut tree. Who will get the banana first, the monkey, the squirrel, or the bird? None of them, because bananas don't grow on coconut trees. Bonnie is cooking dinner. She has 3 stoves, a gas stove, a wood stove, and a coal stove, but only one match. What should she light first of all? The match! You are a bus driver. 9 people get on the bus, and 3 people get on. Then 2 more people get on, and another 1 gets off. Finally, 4 more people get on, and 2 get off again. How old is the bus driver? Whatever your age is, remember the question? You're the driver.
Both Harry and Terry's girlfriends went away on a business trip for the weekend. During the whole time, the couples were texting and sending each other pictures. On Sunday morning, the girls asked their boyfriends to send them their selfies. Harry sent a selfie where he was smiling in the kitchen. Terry sent a selfie of himself in the bathroom. One of the girlfriends knew immediately that her boyfriend was cheating. Who was it, and how did the girlfriend know? It was Harry. Look at that lipstick mark on the glass on top of the kitchen counter. Becca and Tom are a couple. One of them rented a scooter from Brown Scooters and now needs to pay for the ride. A worker from the scooter company comes to charge the couple $15 that they owe. Becca and Tom start arguing over who should pay for the scooter. Becca says that Tom was the one who wrote it, so he should pay for it. But Tom says that it was Becca who wrote it, and she should pay for it. Who is lying? Becca is lying. Take a look at Becca's footprints. They lead directly to the scooter. There were 3 thefts at a local supermarket. 1 in February, 1 in May, and 1 in July. Thankfully, the security camera recorded the footage of those 3 days. The store manager called Detective Moore, asking to solve the crime. The detective took a close look at the footage and noticed one detail that helped him solve the mystery. Take a look at the images and try to figure out who the thief is. In all 3 videos, there is a pregnant lady. In the video from February, she looks about 7 months pregnant. But in the other videos, from May and July, her belly looks exactly the same. This means that she is the thief. She must have been faking her pregnancy all along. Dr. O'Brien invented the time machine and traveled all the way back to prehistoric times. Take a look at this picture and see if you can spot Dr. O'Brien amongst other prehistoric people carrying out their activities. That's easy. It's the guy with the flashlight. He must have taken one with him when he set off on his journey. Katie was running late for class. When she finally arrived at the classroom, she accidentally dropped the pile of textbooks she was holding. It produced a loud thump, making the entire classroom stare at her. At that moment, Katie drew the attention of 20 eyes. How many people were in the classroom that day? There were 11 people. 10 people have a pair of eyes each, right? Add Katie to the equation. That makes a total of 11 people in the room. Police officer Dave received a call late at night. A famous chemist went missing from his lab. After searching the lab thoroughly, Dave found a note with ransom numbers scribbled on it. The note read 26 3 58, 28 27 57 16. Based on the note, Dave managed to find the scientist and arrest the criminals who had taken him. What was written in the encrypted note, and how did Dave understand it? The chemist is smart. Each number in the note corresponds to an element in the periodic table. So the element that corresponds to 26 is Fe, iron. Number 3 is Li, lithium. And 58 is Ce, cerium. If you use this logic, you can figure out that the first line spells Felice, and the numbers in the second line stand for Nicholas. After figuring out the names, Dave tracked the men down and arrested them. Helena finally got herself a new guitar. She wanted to play it right away, but she had to go to school. She locked the instrument inside her room and left. When she got home in the evening, the guitar was gone. She knew it must have been one of her family members, as they always played pranks on one another. So she questioned each one of them. Helena's mother said she hadn't even seen the guitar the girl had bought. Her dad said that he had seen it when he passed by Helena's room, but he swore he hadn't done anything to it. Helena's brother said he hadn't gone upstairs the whole day, so he hadn't seen the guitar either. Helena solved the mystery instantly. Can you figure it out? Her dad was lying. He said he'd seen the guitar when passing by the girl's room, but that's impossible. Helena locked the door when she left. A bank was robbed by masked strangers. One of the robbers asked the teller to give them all the money hidden in the bank safe. But suddenly, the teller's phone rang. It was his mother. The robber told the guy to pick up the phone to avoid arousing suspicion. On the phone, the teller asked, "Is there an emergency, Mother? Call me when you get home and I'll help you with the dinner." Then he hung up. 5 minutes later, while the robbers were still in the bank, the police arrived at the crime scene. How did the police know about the robbery? The teller was smart. While he was speaking on the phone with his mother, he pressed the mute button while he was saying some of the words. So what his mother heard on the other end of the line was, "Emergency, Mother, call help." On the outskirts of a town, there was a haunted house. A group of friends decided to check it out. They went there at night, but as soon as they got there, one of the friends refused to go inside and tried to stop the others. But they just laughed and left him behind. There were terrible crashing sounds coming from the house, and then everything went still. John never saw his friends again. How did John understand that there was something seriously wrong with the house? John was very attentive. He noticed that there was lots of footprints leading towards the house, but none going away. A famous hotel has 7 floors. 5 people are staying on the first floor. 8 people are staying on the second floor. 11 people are staying on the third floor, and so on. Each next floor has 3 more people living there than the previous one. Which floor calls the elevator most often? The first floor. Any person staying on a floor other than the first has to call the elevator to reach their destination. In a small town, 3 teachers asked for sick leave on the same day. Janet said she had got into a car accident and broke her leg. Now she was having difficulty walking with the cast and all. Emma complained she'd had a very unfortunate workout and injured her neck. She couldn't even turn her head. And Tina said that she'd fallen from her bike and hurt her arm. One of the teachers is lying. Can you tell who? It's Janet. She claims she's having difficulty walking with the cast, but she doesn't even have crutches. You wake up and find yourself trapped in a room with 4 doors in front of you. You hear a monster coming, so you check the door quickly. The leftmost door has a sign on it saying, "Take the door on the right to break free." The second door also has a sign saying, "It's the right door." The third door has a sign, "Freedom is just right in front of you." And the last door has a sign saying, "Don't trust the signs." Which door should you choose? Well, there's a little bit of wordplay here. Let's see why. The first door says to take the door on the right. The second one says it's the right door. Not the correct door, but the door on the right. The third door says, "Freedom is just right in front of you." That just doesn't make any sense, does it? You can interpret this statement as pointing at the door just on your right. Well, that's it. It's the last door. It does tell you not to trust the other signs, but it doesn't tell you that they're false, does it?
You're a fast and furious racer on a tropical island. You find a new motorbike online and call the salesman to arrange a test drive. Later that day, you arrive at the meeting point and see 2 guys with 2 identical motorbikes. One of them is the seller you spoke with, and the other one is a scammer who wants to sell you a stolen vehicle. Who's deceiving you? Think carefully and feel free to leave your answer in the comments. The salesman text message has the logo of his motorcycle store. The guy on the right has a baseball hat with the same logo. Therefore, he must be the store's official representative. Therefore, the guy on the left is a scammer. Congrats! The motorbike is now yours. You hit the road and you make your way across the pier. Suddenly you spot 3 people. Whom will you save first? Let us know in the comments. The teen is playing with a rattlesnake, which looks pretty dangerous. But luckily, it's not real, see? It has a barcode on the side, so it's just a toy. The lady is about to jump into the sea infested with sharks. But look carefully, she's just posing. Her boyfriend is filming a video. He's the only one who needs to be saved here because he's standing on rotten old wood. It's about to collapse. So he risks ending up swimming with sharks for real. You save the day and continue your ride. Oh no! The main road is closed for repairs. So you only have 3 options to return to your bungalow. The first route is the notorious mountain spiral road, known for its rockfalls. The second road is flat, but it leads through a jungle inhabited by crocodiles. And the third road is half flooded because it lies through the old cursed swamp. Which way will you choose to stay alive? Don't forget to share your answer in the comments section below. Take a closer look at the second route. The sign says Crocodile Farm. This means that the crocs are kept indoors under supervision, so this is the safest choice. You take the second route and decide to visit the Crocodile Farm. Let's see how eagle-eyed you are. Who's in danger here? Write it down in the comments faster than the other bright side detectives. This tourist has crossed the barrier. The tourist's name is Mimi. You help her get out of the barrier safely, but in the process, she scratches her leg. So you bring Mimi to the local hospital. Can you spot anything suspicious here? If you nailed it, please share your answer. Easy peasy. The windshield of this ambulance car is covered with white paint. You enter the building and face 3 surgeons in the lobby. Which doctor is dangerous? Don't let the imposter get away. Share your suspicions. The first doctor is sleeping, but maybe she's just tired after a long shift. The second lady doesn't wear any gloves, but it's not a crime. She's having a coffee break. Meanwhile, the third lady's nails are too long and fancy for a surgeon's work. And she brought an open medical syringe to the lobby, which is not very hygienic. The doctor takes Mimi away. You decide to have a walk around the hospital and face the following scene. 2 greatest enemies, Gia and Kai, wake up simultaneously in a hospital room. Both immediately grab the scissors and try to cut each other's IV drips. Who's more likely to survive? Think carefully and tell us your answer in the comments. Someone whose drip is cut farther away from the arm has a better chance of surviving. This way, more medicine will manage to get into the body, and our hero will win extra time before the doctors arrive. So it's likely going to be Gia. You're starving, so you go to the local food court. Too late, it's already closed. Oh look, this kiosk is still working. There are 3 burgers left to choose from, but only one of them is safe to eat. Hit the like button if you can spot any poisoned food right away. The first burger was cooked 5 days ago, according to its tag. No, thank you. The third one was prepared today, but there's a fly sitting on the meat. Flies can spread diseases. Only the second burger, which is packed in cling film, is a safe option. Does anyone have a better answer? Feel free to share. The next day, you go to the local beauty salon to get a haircut. Unluckily, one of these hairdressers is a maniac. Write your answer in the comments if you can guess who. It's the second hairdresser. The fire haircut technique is pretty normal these days, but he's also hiding an axe in his pocket, which is far from normal. Busted! Your haircut is done, and now it's time to chat with your buddies. They send you some selfies. Sally is getting ready to skydive. Bobby is taking a yoga class. And Caleb is riding an ATV through a desert. Who's least likely to survive? Give this video a thumbs up if you already know the answer. Although Bobby is twisted in an incredible position, His teacher is watching his back. Scorpions are no threat to Caleb unless he gets out of his vehicle. But take a look at Sally's picture. There's lightning in the sky. It's not safe to skydive in a thunderstorm. You're walking in the jungle and find 3 banana palms. One of them is poisonous. Can you guess which one? Okay, the first stack looks bad at first glance because its bananas have turned dark, but it doesn't mean that they're poisonous. The third palm has the fewest bananas, so probably many people were eager to eat them. But take a look under the second palm. Someone picked a banana, took a bite, and then just dropped it on the ground. That's suspicious. So, this is the dangerous palm. But if you have a different opinion, please let us know in the comments. In the evening, you go to the local carnival. 3 ladies want to dance with you, but unfortunately, only one of them is a safe partner. Can you guess who's dangerous? Think carefully, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Although the first lady is wearing a cute rabbit mask, she's a thief. She's sneaking a phone from a guy in the crowd. Take a closer look at the third lady. A broken glass bottle sticks out of her pocket. It's not very safe to dance around her. Thus, only the second lady is safe. There are 3 routes you can take. The first path is covered with hot coals. The second with gross worms and toads. The third one with beautiful roses. Which path would you choose? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Hot coals can burn through your shoes and rose thorns can scratch your skin. So the second path is the best option. These creatures are no threat to humans. These 2 chefs cook over an open fire. One of them is in serious danger. If you already know who, hurry up to be the first to share it in the comments. Well, well, take a closer look at the first chef. His scarf is already smoking. It's about to burst into flames. Fire alarm! The next day you go for a walk on the beach. There's an open shower on the shore. You spot 3 guys washing off the sand after swimming in the sea. Whom will you save? The third guy is in danger. Take a look at the bottle he's using to wash his hair. It says bleach. Bad idea, buddy. Hit the like button if you nailed it.
Sarah was in her hotel room when she heard a knock on the door. When she looked through the peephole, she saw a man standing outside. "Sorry for bothering you. I'm the hotel manager," he said. "Our database has crashed, and I need to recheck some information." Sarah said she would be back in a moment, got away from the door, and called the hotel security. She said there is a man trying to rob her. How did she know? Look at the man's name tag. It's a female name. He's not the real hotel manager. When Anna got to school, she noticed that her friend Joan was very upset. It was just the beginning of the day, but someone had already stolen her backpack. Joan left the classroom to go to the bathroom, and at that moment, someone must have got inside and stolen her things. Anna started her own investigation. Jenna from the robotics lab said she'd been fixing a robot that morning. Kate from the cheerleading squad had just begun her practice, and James said he'd spent 3 hours trying to solve a math problem and was now exhausted. Anna knew right away who had taken the backpack. Can you figure it out? It was James. The school day had just started. How could he have been there for 3 hours already? On a beautiful morning, Michael and Christina went on a hike. At some point, they saw a river they had to cross. Both of them needed to get to the other side. However, the boat could only make one trip back and forth and take one of them at a time. Still, both of them managed to get across. How? That's easy. They both went on a hike on the same day, but they weren't together, so they arrived at the river at the same time, but they were on the opposite banks. So after the boat took Christina to the other side of the river, Michael managed to get to the opposite bank too. At a party, there were 9 candies in a box. 9 people took 9 candies, but 1 candy was still in the box. How could that be possible? The last person took the candy that was still in the box. When the day after tomorrow becomes yesterday, then today will be as far from Sunday as the day it was today when the day before yesterday was tomorrow. Which day is it? It's Sunday. Look, the day after tomorrow becomes yesterday on Wednesday. The day before yesterday was tomorrow on Thursday. And Wednesday and Thursday are equally far from Sunday. Susanna was walking down the street when she saw a dog. It looked like the dog had just run away, so she picked it up and started searching for its owner. She walked into a co-working space. There were 3 people there. Susanna knew immediately who the owner was. How did she figure it out? Look at the guy in the middle. He's sitting on top of a dog leash. It was Brian's birthday, and he organized a game for his friends. He placed 2 cards, 1 yellow and 1 red, inside a box. The rule said that if a person picked the red card, they would win $7,000, but if they picked the yellow card, they would have to pay $700. Nobody knew that Brian had lied. He'd put 2 yellow cards inside the box instead of 1 red and 1 yellow. Brian's friend Sandra watched her friends lose the game one by one. But when it was Sandra's turn, she won $7,000. How? When it was her turn, she picked one of the yellow cards, not showing it to anyone. Then she picked the remaining card, which was also yellow, and showed it to her friends. Brian had to admit that the first card she'd drawn and hidden was red. Otherwise, all his friends would know he was a liar. Way to go, Sandra. Amy has to escape from a high-security room, but to do so, she has to solve a riddle. There are 2 strings in the room, and the only information she has is that each string takes exactly 1 hour to burn. She needs to time exactly 45 minutes with the help of the strings. How can she do it? Amy should light both ends of the first string and one end of the second string. In 30 minutes, the first string will burn completely since it'll burn twice faster with both ends on fire. Then, she should light the second end of the second string. At that time, the second string will have 30 minutes left to burn. But by lighting its other end, Amy will make it burn in 15 minutes. Voila! 45 minutes measured. On January 1st, Devin called the police to report a crime. He said he'd gone to his neighbor's New Year's Eve party the night before. And while he was away, someone broke into his house and stole his laptop and other valuables. When the police asked about the party, Devin said it had been great. There was good food and string lights were shining brightly and beautifully. Devin added that his neighbor could have been the one to steal his things. Maybe he snuck inside the house when Devin was at his place, having fun. The police officer went to interrogate Devin's neighbor, Tom. But as soon as Tom opened the door, the officer knew he wasn't guilty. Devin was lying. How did he understand this? Look at the string lights on the tree. They're missing 3 bulbs. It means they couldn't be working the night before. Devin is lying. Matthew was on an expedition to the South Pole. He had been exploring the area for days when a storm began. Looking for shelter, he managed to find 2 caves. In the first cave, there was a very hungry-looking polar bear. In the second cave, the air was filled with toxic gas. Which cave should he choose? The first cave. Polar bears don't live at the South Pole. Jerry has an apple tree. The number of apples on his tree doubles every week. 30 weeks later, the tree is completely covered in fruit. Can you guess how many weeks the tree will need to become covered in oranges? Oranges don't grow on apple trees, but if I asked you about apples, the answer would be 29 weeks, because, as we know, the number of apples doubles every week. Nobody has ever walked this way. What way is it? The Milky Way. Dave was held in a 150-foot-high tower of an ancient castle. In his cell, there was nothing other than a pair of scissors and a 75-foot-long rope. Despite this, when the guards came to check on him the next morning, they saw he had managed to escape. How did he do it? He cut the rope in the middle, but rather than cutting it across, he cut it along. Then, he tied both pieces of the rope together and safely got down to the ground. Genius, huh? On the outskirts of the town, there was a haunted house. A group of friends decided to check it out. They went there at night, but as soon as they got there, one of the friends, John, refused to go inside and tried to stop the others. But they just laughed at him and went inside, leaving him behind. There were several terrible crashing sounds coming from the house. And then everything went still. John never saw his friends again. How did John understand that there was something seriously wrong with the house? John was very attentive. He noticed that there were lots of footprints leading towards the house, but none going away. Rachel was in her office when security called her, saying there was a robber in the building and he was trying to escape. She ran to the elevators to get outside. But 2 elevators arrived at the same time. In each of them, there was a man that looked suspicious and could be the robber. How can Rachel understand which elevator is safe to take? The one that's going up. If the robber is trying to get out of the building, his elevator will be going down. So Rachel should take the one going up.